My name is Len Elder, and I'm here with Michael Ashurst. Michael, you own an appraisal company.
That's correct.
And so, can you tell us a little bit about what an appraisal is?
Be glad to. Len, it's real simple. An appraisal is an estimate of value. It's not an exact value, it's an estimate of value. And where that estimate of value is derived from is taking comparable sales directly from the neighborhood or from the market area, the surrounding area, and taking homes that perhaps may be similar, some that may be inferior, and adjusting those homes to make them as much like the subject property as possible. And somewhere in between those values will be the value of the subject property.
And can you walk us kind of through the process of ordering an appraisal? Because my understanding is all that has changed quite a bit from the way we used to approach the problem.
It has changed quite a bit. No longer do we receive orders from the loan officer or from the loan processor. We receive these orders from appraisal management companies. And the purpose of the appraisal management company is to select appraisers on an unbiased, unconnected way from the actual loan officer or from the mortgage company, so there's no conflict of interest. And they have a random choice under which they select appraisers, and they select appraisers who are familiar with neighborhoods.
I think a lot of folks don't recognize how much pre-research goes into the property prior to the appraiser going out for their visit. So can you tell us a little bit about that research?
I'd be glad to. The research that takes place prior to the appraiser showing up for the property requires that we verify the ownership, verify the legal description of the property, verify the lot size, verify the neighborhood data, the statistics of the neighborhood, verify school systems, verify traffic patterns, verify numerous things that create a large picture so that the lenders can see where the property fits into that market area.
I see. And then following that research that's conducted, the appraiser actually makes a visit to the property.
They do, and that's called the appraisal inspection. And the appraiser will contact the owner probably within 24 to 48 hours after they receive the order, and they will arrange for an inspection. And what this entails is the appraiser walks through the property to verify that the room sizes are pretty standard for the neighborhood, that the layout, the floor plan is pretty standard for the neighborhood, that the condition of the property is good, fair, average, but whatever the condition of the property is, the appraiser needs to be able to see the inside of the property to do that. These inspections typically take 15 to 30 minutes.
I see. Then following that, the appraiser compiles their report. And if I'm understanding everything you're saying, it's more than just a one-page summary with a property value on it, correct?
It is. Most of the mortgages that we do appraisals for are sold to the federal government, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. They have a requirement that we sign off on a number of different addendums. Those addendums oftentimes will be 2/3 of the appraisal itself. So we have the 2 pages that talk about the value. We have 2 or 3 pages that describe the property, and then we have a whole list of addendums and photographs and maps of the property. So 15 to 20, 25 pages.
And although the primary purpose of the appraisal is to verify the value of the property for the lender, is it important that a buyer actually see and review an appraisal on a property they're buying?
Len, it's a great question. Many buyers don't understand they have a right to this appraisal. And it's very important that they request that appraisal be sent to them either by the lender or by the loan officer itself. And they should be able to receive that 5 days prior to the close of escrow. And in reviewing the appraisal itself, the 2nd page or the 3rd page typically will give a matrix of the comparable properties. And looking over those matrix, you will see the adjustments that are made to the comparable properties that determine the value of your property or your subject property.
And the cost of this whole process for a typical buyer?
Well, a typical buyer is going to pay between $350 and $500 for these appraisals, and the appraisal management companies do require that these fees be paid at the time of application.
Thank you. Well, hopefully you understand a little bit more about the appraisal process with Michael's help here. Michael, anything else you'd like to add about the importance of an appraisal or the process itself?
Well, I think that it's really important to understand that appraisals are an estimate of value, and they are a risk management tool for the lender. Often these appraisal values will not come in the same as the contract. It doesn't mean that the property is worth more or worth less than what the contract is, because buyers really do determine the market value of these properties. The appraisal really is just based on past episodes that have taken place in the neighborhood. So if the value doesn't match exactly, it doesn't mean you aren't getting a good value. What it just means is based on the current data that's out there, the appraisal has made an estimate of the value of your home.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time today, Michael.
Okay, Len, thank you.